Hi, wonderful AP students. Tomorrow is the big day. I am posting this little reminder for those of you who may not make it to class today or may need to hear some final reminders from me. So here we go. First of all, either Saturday, Sunday, or today is the window to complete the sign up setup on your AP Digital app. You're going to get several reminders probably at some points today, but that is definitely something that you need to take care of. You need to go to your digital app that is installed on the computer, and you need to sign in and you need to complete the setup. And if you did not do it Saturday or Sunday, you must do it today. Today, Monday, do it today, May 17th. The next reminder is that on Tuesday, on test day, they ask you to be there early. There's going to be some things that you're going to have to do at 10:30. So you need to have all your stuff laid out. You need to sit down and get some water and a snack and get in a nice quiet spot with good internet, and you need to be ready to go about 10:15. Yeah. Get everything set out. Start looking over your one-pager, the one page of notes that you made where you consolidated and put together all the really important stuff. Get that out and start reading it over and start using that time to get your head in the right place. Do some breathing, some relaxation exercises. Try to get focused. Summon your higher intellect and be ready to go. You need to remember that once you log on to the test, you cannot open a new tab, change anything, be on technology, leave that page or anything like that. The way that the test goes, you have to stay in that test on the computer and not leave the test on the computer. So keep that in mind. The next reminder is that you need to figure out, there's like a timer on there, and be aware that you've got that timer and that you've got 60 minutes to do the multiple choice. It would be nice if you could just keep in your mind there's 4 passages on the multiple choice. You need to do one every 15 minutes. Somehow get some kind of signal or something happening so that you know when that 15 minutes is up and you're ready to move on. Do not leave anything blank. And keep in mind, you can't go back. If you skip a question and you go on to the next part, you can't go back and fill in the blanks later. You can't go back and select an answer later. So because of that, don't leave and hit next to go to the next question by leaving anything blank. If you need to be aware of the 15 minutes for each passage in the multiple choice is what I'm talking about. In the multiple choice, be aware of each 15 minutes passing. And at the end of 15 minutes, be sure you have answered all the questions over that first 15-minute passage. Then go to the next one. After the next 15-minute period, you should be finished with the second passages and all of those questions. Do not leave anything blank. Use PO, process of elimination. Get rid of the answers that you know can't possibly be right. I know that y'all know enough to probably get rid of 2 ridiculous answers that are absolutely, for sure, easily recognized as being the wrong answer. And then usually there's going to be 2 answers that are sort of, you could argue with yourself and say, well, either one of these could be right. And then look at the clock, see how much time you have left, and then just pick one. If it's 50-50 and you've narrowed it down and gotten rid of the ones that you know are wrong, then you ought to be able to guess with some kind of accuracy. Maybe luck will be on your side and you'll get it. But do not leave any of the questions blank. And be sure that every 15 minutes you're moving on to the next question and you have finished all of the questions over that passage, because there's 4 passages on the multiple choice. And like 12, 14 questions, something like that, over each passage. Pace yourself. Be aware of the time. Do not leave anything blank. Now, about your essays, you're going to have 2 hours. The most important thing you can do is get some kind of system going where it's going to signal you in some way. Maybe tell somebody in your family to set an alarm on their phone and to walk in the room and come in and throw a piece of paper at you or pinch you, or come in and bring you a glass of water at the end of each 40 minutes. Get them to help you. Get them participating to like give you a cue, a signal. You're not supposed to have electronic devices like smartwatches or any kind of like cell phones that are going to go off during the test. That's a big no-no. And it's going to be hard to set all these alarms when you don't know the exact time that you're going to be starting the test. But you're going to have to figure something out, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to spend too much time on that first poetry essay, and then you're going to be playing catch up for the rest of the time. You're going to get flustered and you're not going to finish, and then that's not going to be okay. So what do you do to avoid that? Because I've seen most of you can write these essays beautifully if you have like several hours to do it. You have 40 minutes to do it. So here's what you should do. You should spend the first 10 minutes reading the poem, taking some notes over the poem, and doing your pre-write. The pre-write is your outline. It's your roadmap. It's your plan of what you're going to write about once you start writing. 10 minutes. You should have the poem read, know what it's about, know what you're going to talk about. Read the prompt more than once, more than twice. Read that prompt 3 times. Make sure that in that thesis statement, that in each essay, to get the 1 point that you're supposed to get for the prompt, for the thesis paragraph, you get a point for that. Either you get it or you don't get the point. And to get the point, don't repeat the prompt. Don't do it. I know you're tempted to just repeat the prompt on that thesis statement. Don't get all crazy and start doing weird things like putting hooks in and writing like 5 or 6 sentences. No. Do what I told you to do. Do the 3 sentences. Put the title and the author in the first one. Say something about the big idea in the second sentence. And then in the third sentence, bam, that's where you answer the prompt. And you make sure you answer it. If it says talk about diction, syntax, and tone and how it informs the attitude, you have to say what that attitude is. You can't just repeat, yeah, they used diction, syntax, and tone and it created attitude, or it influenced the attitude. What? What attitude? What are you talking about? You have to name it. An attitude of nostalgia, an attitude of sadness, an attitude of blah, 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 whatever, but name what that attitude is. And remember I told you, I bet you $1 that they're going to say on the test, on either FRQ 1, FRQ 2, or maybe on the third essay. I don't know. Could happen on the third essay. They're going to say blah, 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 and how it affects how it conveys the overall meaning of the work as a whole. So you have to know what that overall meaning of the work is of the whole thing for your poem and your prose passage. And even for the book you choose to do, for essay number 3, yes, you have to know the big idea, the overarching theme. What is this whole thing about? And say it. In the thesis statement, you don't just say it, and it conveys the overall meaning of the work as a whole. What are you talking about? What whole? What is the overall meaning of the work as a whole? What are you saying? What do you mean? That's right. So you have to say it. You know, Edna Pontellier, scratch that. Chopin uses diction, syntax, and tone to convey how women, here's the overall meaning of the work as a whole. I'm going to tell it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to stamp it. Here it comes. Chopin uses diction, syntax, and tone with descriptors, evocative diction, vivid imagery, robust tone I used my descriptors, to convey how women were repressed and had no freedom, and her feelings of being trapped and suffocated that led to her tragic ending. Bam! That's the meaning of the overall work as a whole. Women during the, late 19th, early 19th century were terribly, not having any power, any voice, any rights, anything. So you're going to say that. You're going to name it, stamp it, say it. Just say it. You can't just say it reinforces the overall meaning of the work as a whole. What is that overall meaning? Okay, another tip. So you've mapped out your 3 topic sentences, right? You've got your 3 topic sentences. So on those topic sentences, you've got like a transition, first of all, to begin with, whatever. Some of y'all say to start off. I would say to begin, comma, vivid imagery is used to blah, 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 right? How many quotes for the poetry and the prose passage? I would say you need a minimum of 3 or 4. If you can get like 5 or so, that's even better. Is it enough just to put quotes in there and embed them and tuck them in the little sentences and cover them up and make them all cozy and make them all great? Is that enough? No, it is not enough. You have to have commentary. Let's remember the rubric. It says this is worth 4 points, guys. 4 points. 4 would be having enough quotes and enough commentary. You have to explain what those quotes show. And please, please, please try not to say every single time, this quote shows blah, 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 blah. This quote shows blah, 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 blah. And then another time, and this quote shows blah, blah, blah. Boring. Maybe say that once. The rest of the time, figure out some way to get it all together. Repeat part of the quote. How about that? Repeat part of the quote and say, when Edna Pontellier says, I am burdened by Roger's departure, she implies that she has attachments to him and depends on him to make her feel free. When this freedom, and then you just go on and you talk about it. Commentary is you explaining and talking about what does that mean? That quote that you stuck in quotation marks. What does that mean? What does it mean? You have to do that part where you talk about it, or you don't get any points and you fail. Have to have the quotes, have to have the commentary. Commentary is your explanation of what those quotes prove. Don't keep saying show. Demonstrates, illustrates, proves. Put those on your one-pager so that you can remember to mix it up and make it have some variety and sound better, right? If you don't get to the conclusion, don't freak out. If you can get the thesis point, get the thesis point, and then get 2 or 3 good body paragraphs that show you're putting the quotes there and you're talking about those quotes and you're telling what those quotes prove and you're doing all that, and then you don't quite finish and you've got like almost 2 pages. I think you've got it. If you do that part correctly, they're not going to care about the conclusion. So don't freak out and stop developing the body paragraph just so you can tag some couple of sentences on the end. That's not as important as developing those body paragraphs. Each body paragraph should have, minimum of 6 or 7 sentences, up to maybe 9 or 10 sentences. They should be nice, meaty, heavy, juicy paragraphs, right? They shouldn't feel like, oh, this was a celery stick. I'm on a diet. That didn't have much to it. I'm still hungry. You don't want the grader reading your essay to still be hungry for more. You want to feed them a nice, good chunk of substantive something to digest. Yeah? You feel me? You feel me? Okay. So, what else do I need to tell you? I think that's about it. The main parts that I want to remind you to be ready. Tuesday morning, showtime. This is your opportunity to shine. Again, I have complete confidence that every single one of you testing, there's almost 40 of you testing out of all the people in AP, Of the 40-ish of you who are taking the test, I feel that almost everyone could pass if you had, I don't know, all day, like 8 hours to do it, but you don't. So please watch the time. And you need to really pay attention to what I'm saying. If you spend too much time on that first essay on poetry, and then you spend too much time on the second essay on prose, you may not even get to the third essay, and that is a really big problem. You have to answer all three. You have to have 1.5, 2 pages each. You have to pace yourself. Figure out how you're going to do that. With the multiple choice, with the 4 passages, 15 minutes apiece, and with the essays, 3 essays, 40 minutes apiece, 2 hours, figure it out. Get a plan. I don't know. You get somebody that you trust to make a noise in the other room, to bang on the door, knock. They don't have to say anything. Just knock on the door of the room where you're testing to let you know 40 minutes has passed. Have a drill, like a fire drill, where your parent or your sister or whoever's like doing this for you, have them put a timer on their phone, and when it goes off, have them come knock on your door and say, this is a trial run. You better knock on my door at the end of that 40 minutes. I'm going to fail this test if you don't knock on the door. Something. I don't know what you can come up with. Be creative. Whatever works for you. But please do something, because if you don't pace yourself correctly, then that's it. Game over. And that's not going to be pretty. So I know y'all have the stuff to do what it takes. You need to get your head game in order. That means, what does that mean, to get your head game? It's like if you played a sport. I used to coach soccer. I know that's hard to believe, but I did for 8 seasons. And I would tell my boys before we went out on the field, we'd have our little huddle, and I would say, you get your head in the game. Whatever's happening to you at home, at school, with your girlfriend, whatever, leave it. Because when you go out there, there is nothing but this game. There is nothing distracting you. Your mind is not wandering. You focus on that ball. And so I can't do like the huddle with you because we're not together. But I can tell you that you need to focus and get your head game going on. That goes with any sport, you know? With any sport. You could be a golfer and you don't have your head game on, and you're just going to be, slicing off into the rough and having a really rough day. Get it? Into the rough day. That's going to be you having a rough day if you don't get your head in the right place. Be confident. Think about what you've learned. Think about how you've grown this year. Think about all the things I told you to use for tools to get you through this, and use them. Yes, use them. Use the tools I've given you. Follow the instructions that I have given you, and then just get your head in it and just focus. And don't let anything distract you. Put your phone away, like in a different room, and be in that test 110%. There's the little timer that will be on the screen. If all else fails and you don't have anybody to help you with the whole timing thing, then you better pay attention to that timer up there, because that's super, super important. Okay, that is my message to all of you today, and I hope you heard me. I know how hard some of you have always shown up to class. You've always done your best. You've always tried to keep up with your assignments, and I know that this year has been crazy hard in so many ways, and weird and unfamiliar and strange, and it's been hard to do what we had to do when we weren't together. But you can do this. I believe in you. I know you can do this if you just collect your senses. Take what you know and focus. Give it your best effort. And then whatever happens, happens, and it's okay. Whatever happens, happens, and it's okay. Because that is the best any of us can ever do, is just to do our best. And then that's it. We can rest in peace. Well, maybe not rest in peace, but we can rest easy knowing that we did our best. And that's all we can do. But if you don't do your best, you should beat yourself up, because you should have done your best. And you can do your best if you just focus and get yourself together. So go think about this. I believe in you. I know you're going to be able to be fine. Just get in there. Use what I've told you. do what you need to do, plan ahead of time, get lots of sleep, eat a good breakfast that morning, eat some protein, don't eat sugar. Sugar's going to make you go, woo, and then you're going to crash and be ready to pass out by the time you sit down to do about the second essay. Trust me, I've seen it happen. I've had people tell me that happen. So do not eat sugary cereal and just like a donut for breakfast. Eat an egg. Eat a breakfast taco. Make like real food. Eat it. Drink some water. Go to the bathroom. Get yourself, do a few little exercises. Do a little meditation, a little bit of something, whatever. And then get in that seat and give it your everything. Okay. All right. Much love to everybody. This is going to be great. I'm so excited that you get to show what you know. You get to show what you know. And y'all are awesome. And I just appreciate y'all and have so much gratitude for showing up and doing your best, even during some very weird and challenging times. Okay. Yay. All right. See you soon.